Like always, we always start the meetings with a prayer by Pastor Logan, so
We go ahead and bow together. Most gracious Father, we thank you, Lord, once again, you brought us into a new year, our first meeting of the year. We thank you so very much for our leadership, with our president and all the officials and officers who have set the group, and our visitors and friends that are with us today. We thank you for city representation. We thank you for the guidance that you've given us, the help that you've given us, the help that you've given us, only because of you, that we have anything that look like success, because success is always with you. So we thank you for your word, your will, and your way. Bless the center, the supervision here and management here. In the name of Jesus, we pray and we ask it all. We say together, amen.
Thank you, Pastor Logan. You know, this is our first time meeting in January in a long time because the weather's usually bad. So I'm glad that we have an opportunity to meet today. We have code enforcement back.
Oh, good.
So, Danny, if you want to come up, Danny's here for Aaron today.
All right.
So it's been a while. So does anyone have anything for code enforcement?
Oh, there she is.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hello. Any questions specifically?
Yes, ma'am. Y'all still patrol?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Yeah, your officer in this area is Aaron Solis.
Who?
Aaron Solis. He's just in training this week, so he should be coming to these meetings regularly. I'm also excited to announce we just hired our neighborhood services manager, which is a new position for us that we've been working to fill, and he started today, his first day. So we're looking to kind of expand on what we're doing with code enforcement and also expand into neighborhood engagement. So pretty excited about that. So you should see some stuff coming from us soon on that.
All right.
Anything else?
Do y'all take care of cars that's abandoned on the street or is that the police?
Please,
department?
yeah. Think of the property line is where we stop. So anything's happening on the side of the property, that's where we are. Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
Behind my house, my neighbor back there have some goats back there. Is it
Goats?
okay to have goats in the city limit?
I'll have to look, that's in the Animal Services Code in Chapter 6, but I'll check into it.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to give me your information after and I can
Yes, ma'am.
follow up with you? Yeah, I'm not quite sure about goats, actually. That's a good, I'm not sure about ghosts, good question. There's probably a limit if there are allowed. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to remind everyone that some of those questions that you might have, if you have any questions like goats or something, so my neighbor has goats. You can use the Engage Denton app. For those of you all that have, can do that. I know everybody doesn't have access to those kind of things, but you can go online and tell them right away that there's goats in my backyard that don't belong to me. Then they're pretty responsive. Everything that I've ever put in there that's been like that day or the next day, the very next day, so.
This is a very handy tool because it gets directed to the right department very quickly, so you don't get passed around, so it's helpful.
Alright, that's good, but old school don't know all that.
Yeah, I'll look it up and I'll give you an answer on ghosts before we leave today.
Anything else for code enforcement? I mean, you don't have to just live in the neighborhood if you have a question. I'm sure she can answer outside the neighborhood.
Alright, well, thank you.
Thank
All right, thanks,
you.
sir.
Officer Tony Cunningham. We have someone here from the police department, Officer Cunningham.
Good evening.
Long time no see.
Just the other day. For the group? Okay. Anthony Cunningham, work for the City of Denton Police Department, Community Resource Officer. My office is right there. If anybody ever needs anything community related or city related, I'm always available. So I passed out cards in the past. Business cards, if anyone needs another business card, let me know. I'll get that to you. We're doing a lot of things at the police department with the new chief, the new assistant chief, some new deputy chiefs, and all of that is going to end up giving me a lot of opportunities to do a lot more things that we need to do. So where we're at now, we're in a great position as far as the police department with the growth, with the officers that we're hiring, the training that they're receiving. Friday, I'm gonna take the sergeant exam, so I'm trying to move up that ladder.
All right.
Eventually, you know, we'll just keep growing as a department and doing bigger and better things.
Put some prayer on
I've been at this for 28 years, so it's one of those things, we're just gonna keep going. So,
Right.
But again, if there's ever a time that anyone needs anything, I'm easy to find. So,
Right.
is there any questions, any ongoing problems that we can look at? This being the beginning of the year is always a good opportunity to start with a new list.
In 2023.
Yeah, but that's number one on the list.
Thank you.
So,
Do we call it
coming
in
up
or
with some
do
new
we tell-
strategies.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we call it in or do we tell it now?
Either way, I mean, as far as the group, it just depends on, I mean, if there's a list of some things, you can get in touch with me and, you know, I promise, we'll get started on it today, so. I'll be here. I'll be here
Is
afterwards.
there an officer back there?
Huh?
Is there an officer back there?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Sorry, okay.
We're working on it.
Anything else for Officer Cunningham? Oh, you're gonna wait to talk to her after?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Byrd?
Hello, everyone. Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, and Happy New Year. All of that is good to be back in the house tonight. I just have a few things here. Streets, you know, we were complaining about the streets needing to be updated, they're being updated, then we're complaining about them being updated, you know, in that process. So we're getting through that, and the city is just ticking off some of these projects one by one, as you all can see. So if you all have any additional concerns about that, of course, you know, you can let me know. And we all can also, if we want them to come to speak to you all about, you know, the process and the progress, I'm sure they will be more than happy to do that as well. So, you know, let them know. Be sure to let me know. The Rail Yard project, I understand, is met with the David group. That is the ministers group here in the community, and then comes to some agreements with the Rail Yard, I understand. And so, but I want you all, please be reminded that that whole project, the Rail Yards project, is part of downtown. So I know that the city has been moving towards the east, so they're coming over with these developers wanting to do something there. And I know there's some communication that's going on in the community. I did attend a recent David community meeting. There were the police chief, the city folks, they were there, various community leaders, they were in the house. So it was a very wonderful opportunity for us to start getting together, seeing faces. We know who they are, we hear their names, but it's also good to put a name with a face to make sure that this community is well taken care of. You all know that there's now a new homeless shelter on 288, and I am mentioning that to you all because I can see that there's a significant reduction in the homeless population being around in the neighborhood. They're coming through. I just saw some walking towards that area, Monsignor King, and I said, okay, they're gonna see the notes on the door that's gonna direct them over to Loop 288. My concern still with Loop 288 to be, you know, open, you know, with my opinion here, is that I'm still concerned about how they're getting there. We don't want them walking through neighborhoods. We want them to have a straight shot to where they need to go. The area, that building is beautiful. It reminds me of a dorm. And it's clean, and they have everything that they need, and we're just gonna pray on those folks that they be able to get up and get out and get back with us, you know, on this side. So, yeah, the city, along with some nonprofits, all of these nonprofits, United Way, all of those guys came together to get this place set up for these folks so they can start living another kind of life. And we're just gonna continue to pray for those people in our community. Valentine's Day party is coming up in February. I'm gonna pitch my little part for my sorority sisters. Delta Sigma Theta is gonna put something together for the community for Valentine's Day at the American Legion Hall. We had such a good time last year. We danced, party. I remember that two-step you were doing. So we're gonna have some food, so you all keep in mind that we're gonna do that on the 14th over at the American Legion Hall. Again, continue to use Engage Denton. I'm gonna show you all, ladies, we're gonna have someone to come through and we'll show you all how to get on Engage Denton if you have one of these kind of phones. That's the rotary dial tone. One of these. We'll show you how to get on there. And then there's another thing called Engage, it's called Discuss Denton. Because, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on out there in Denton. And we have to discuss Denton. So you all can make your way to discuss it. Also, the last thing is you all know that it's voting season right now. Make sure that you are registered to vote. Last day to register to vote is April the 6th, and voting day is May the 6th. And that concludes my report. It's just, all of that is online. Yeah, all of that is online. 1, 2, 3, and 4 areas are up for re-election and all that. District 1, District 2, District 3, District 4. All that's re-up. But it's all online, so you all can go there and get more details about that.
I got a question for you. Go back to the rail yard project.
Okay.
You said the city said that was considered downtown?
All of that area downtown is considered downtown. Yes, sir.
They need to make that make sense.
Well, I will have to take that to the city
Exactly.
manager's office, so.
If that's the case, I'm only 500 feet away. I live downtown.
Okay, well then that's something that we'll have to send to the,
I will get with you on it.
email me,
I will
and
do.
then I'll push that forward. Yes, ma'am?
I've been down there all this time.
It's homeless shelter, yes.
Do they live there?
Yeah, they live there. They
Oh,
live
they
there.
live.
I went over there and made some bunks, put some bunk beds together. They have areas for families. You know, there's a lot of single moms with kids out there these days. It's real terrible when
Yes, right.
babies. And so there's areas there. They got clothes. You can donate your clothes there. 3 meals a day. I felt like I was walking into a dorm, you know, because it's a big eating facility area out there, you know, how you go into it, it's just like you go down your hall to your dorm room, you know, and it's just really nice, yeah.
Is enough room in there for the
I think they're housing about 170 people can be housed there, about over 100, I'll say over 100 people. That's a lot of people to go, and then all of the services are there. If they need psychological services, medical care, you know, they just pulled together United Way and Monsignor King and served Denton and all these folks. And
It's our daily bread.
I'm sorry, what did I say?
A United Way. It's
Oh, okay, our daily bread. I'm sorry to you, daily bread. I'm sorry. So you know what, I'm just really excited about that. And they also have volunteer opportunities. If y'all hadn't, you know, done your part, you know, you just like want to do something. Then that is a great place to start over there to you know, cook or, you know, just be a helper.
Right, I signed up for volunteer with Marsh Street, but I ain't made it there yet.
Okay.
But they do it the third Sunday.
Yeah. And when you go in there, you're gonna be like, man, this is nice in here. I'm not saying that you want it to be shabby, but you know, you go in and it's like, this is really nice. So let's give some credence to our fearless leader back here, Danny Shaw. She's the one that really kind of pulled everybody together to make sure that happened. Yeah, so we're glad we have her on board. We're gonna keep Danny around. Is there anything else?
Is there any limitations when they can come in and leave, or can they stay for a period of time?
Yeah, they can stay for a period of time. It's one of those kind of places where you are, it's step out.
Better yourself.
So
It has
you do your-
both
you do your
emergency
part.
shelter and transitional.
Yeah, transitional, that's what it's.
People can come in and out. That's the best part of it right now is just 24/7. People have a place to be during the day.
And if you're driving around and you see someone that looks like they need some care, you don't pick the phone up and call the city, or you can call me and say, hey, there's somebody over here on blah, blah, blah. They look like somebody need to come and take care of them. And I will make sure that information goes directly who it needs to go to, so you can get out there and take care of them. It's really distressing to see people out there that's not able to take care of themselves. That's our job.
Yeah.
That's our job as Christian folks. And whoever wants to do that, okay? All right.
No, I was gonna say, if you wanna donate to that, do you go directly to them?
You
or
would
is
go
there a-
directly to them, and they have a little area around back where you can drop off clothes,
Oh, okay.
you know, something like that. Yeah. I love it.
Good deal.
All right, thank you.
Mayor Husband?
Anything else?
Mayor's house.
All right.
Well, good evening, everyone. Honored and happy to be here. And so, just real quick, I've been working on the DCTA horn that gets started at 5 and goes all day. So working with DCTA to try to get some different solutions there. I've elicited the help of former Councilmember Byrd. She's been helping me get in contact with people and run down those leads to try to, I mean, we can't pick up the trash before 7 because of the noise. That's federal regulation, so working through that, trying to get something done there, but just to let you know, and I did adjust the trash pickup around UPS and some of those commercial buildings there because it was making a bunch of noise early too, because commercial pickup, you can pick up around 6. And so that's commercial, but it's right next to residential, so got them to adjust that. So we adjusted that, working on the horn. They're coming back with some solutions, so we'll update the group when we get some more traction there. Then want to say we work with the Housing Authority. If you didn't know, I appoint the board for the Housing Authority, work with them, and they're gonna start recording their meetings so that so everyone can watch those meetings, see what's going on there with respect to, that goes to like that one apartment complex was a Housing Authority deal potentially, and then ended up being that. So we'll be able to see those meetings, so that'll be good. And so I appreciate the board moving on that. And then just to make sure we take care of each other, the city does have a minor repair program. So if you know people that have issues at their house, please reach out to the city. And also Pat Smith from Serve Denton, associated with Denton Bible, is the other thing he does a little bit of everything. But they have a group of men that help people as well, called a sweat team. And so they'll help volunteer their time to help. So let's just make sure we keep an eye out on each other, make sure if someone needs something done to their house, or there's any issues, safety issues, water heaters, those sort of things, just make sure we communicate that and see if we can get that taken care of for them. So thank y'all very much. Any questions?
Great.
Yes, sir.
No, you just mentioned the minor repair thing. Is there like a limit, like a dollar limit or something that people would have to stay under to do that? Or?
Up to $15,000 in repairs, necessary repairs.
Danny is like the Swiss Army knife. We need it. She just makes it happen. So, any other questions? Outstanding. Thank y'all very much. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Ms. Allen?
Perhaps you noticed this quilt over here? I came to a SED meeting maybe in May and brought a map, which was the start of this art project, which was an artist's response to all of Randy Hunt's hard work on building the history of Quakertown and Denton. Just a couple of things I want to say about it. Take a peek at it if you want. On the back side is a list of every black person that was living in Denton in 1922. With their names, where they lived in Quakertown, if they were from Quakertown, their children's names, if I have it, their profession, their address where they went to. So that is a huge long list. And eventually, maybe during the summer, I would like, if you find your family listed there, I would love to have you sign my quilt to show that the people are still here. The families are still here. I have a bunch of these flyers that I would love for you to take with you. It shows several different things. There are 3 places where this will be shown publicly. And it's right now at the Visual Arts Center. It will be at the Emily Fowler Library and at South Branch Library, and then maybe North Branch in the fall. And I have a big presentation April 5th where I talk about the history of Quakertown and how I made this and all of that. Normally that thing for the Visual Arts Society would cost $5, but it's free for a segment. So take advantage of it. It should be an interesting program, and we have refreshments. So, and last but not least, I've identified, there are 2 time periods. One is just like 6 weeks in the spring around March, but all summer long, I'm willing to take it to your home, your family reunion, your Bible study, your workplace even, and show it to your group of people for free. Just call me, email, text, let me know when you would like to have it, and I would love to show it. Because, for one thing, because it takes a while for people to actually be able to see and read it, and that way you can take your time and teach your children, teenagers. There's a lot of information there, and I want people to see it. That's it.
How long did it take you to produce that?
That was about 9 months. And part of the reason why I wanted to do this was because the standard story in Denton is that, well, Quakertown, that's too bad, but those people that live there have no relationship to the people who are in Denton now. And I think that was false, and I would like to be able to show with my artwork that the people have prevailed. So,
Everybody, make sure you see that quilt. I mean, it is really, really
Fantastic.
nice.
okay. Of course, there's pictures and captions all the way around that tell some story, but in this section, which is the area of Quakertown Park, which was Quaker, the town of Quaker, these are the lots where people lived, and here is a key that shows what the different colors mean, whether they actually moved their house or whether they just moved to another rent house, whether they stayed in the neighborhood, whether they left town, like all of these brown arrows. And these little trails here tell the story of people and where they moved to.
Wow.
So, yeah. Yes.
Would you consider putting this in the museum somewhere or library?
Well, Georgina Ngozi of the Greater Denton Arts Council and Paul Metzler are working to find a permanent home for it. Georgina said, not City Hall, it's too dark and scary. So we'll find a good place where it's easy for people to get in and see it, has good light, and but after it tours around Denton, it'll have a home. Uh-huh. Yes.
Back in Quakertown, do you know where the graveyard then? Did we have a cemetery
No.
for them?
I do not know that.
Oakwood.
Oh, Oakwood.
Oakwood. Yeah, we had just had the colored section, that's all.
Okay. Any other questions? Well, go ahead.
Thank you, Ms. Ellis.
Uh-huh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. You can go ahead and pass those out while she's talking.
Okay.
That's fine.
Hi, good afternoon. We had some, Walter Herring was supposed to be here, and what he was gonna come and discuss. I I worked with, helped with the, veterans when we put the wreaths and stuff on the grave. And a lot of people, is kind of concerned about why their loved ones didn't receive them. The wreath that goes on the graves and stuff, which we seen them. We saw quite a few that didn't have the headstone, I mean the wreaths on their loved ones' grave. But he was supposed to be here to discuss it, so maybe in the next meeting we'll have to bring it up, cause the few people that came we was gonna discuss it. But I do know just a little piece of it. When your loved ones died, which I understood, and they veteran and it was in the service, you think that, I thought too, that it should be taken care of, like through the funeral homes and things, but somehow you got to register your loved ones if they in the veterans and stuff, and you have to register them, and if it's not signed in up with the city of Denton, that's why most of them is not getting headstone, getting the wreaths on your grave, and which I didn't know why, because I've seen a whole lot of people that you would think just cause they was a veteran, they should have gotten one of the wreaths and stuff. So if you have a loved one or something, you need to talk to I had a card and name, she told me that I'm not prepared, but anyway, I just want to give y'all a little snippet. You have to register with the city of Denton, and I forgot her name, her name, well anyway, Walter would probably be at the next meeting to discuss this, why most of people's loved ones is not receiving the wreaths on the grave. And then I also want to announce that I am helping and preparing if you need your electricity bills paid with the program out of Sherman, Texas. If anybody interested in, normally they try to pay it like 12 months. But anybody need help in that field, contact me and let me know. I can help you get your application filled out and everything.
All right.
Thank you.
You talking about the graveyard right here?
Uh-huh.
Where they put the wreath on?
Yeah, I think you're dead. Yeah. Yeah.
Did he?
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Special guest Omar is gonna give a presentation on Quakertown. But I wanted to ask before he comes up, okay, this is a new year, so is there anything anybody wants to see? Who do you want me to get to come in and talk about a special issue or something that you have? Just let me know. And for February, since it's Black History Month, I am working on getting a special guest in. It's gonna be a surprise, I ain't gonna tell you who. But I am working on a special guest for the 4th Monday in February for Black History Month. So if there's any special issue or anything going on in Southeast Denton that you guys want me to get the people to come in and speak on, just let me know and I will work on that.
Hi everyone. I'm here just to talk about really quickly the 4 mock-ups of signs we have out in the lobby for Quakertown. So we will have these here for until the middle of next week, and what we're asking people to do is read the text, look at the sign, let us know if there's anything you don't like about it, and we're leaving comment cards near the signs, or you can always just email me, or you can even just mark up the sign and I'll come by and find it. And what we're going to do is sort of take the input and make sure everything's good with the sign, and then we're going to have it professionally printed and put in the park, in Quakertown Park. This is sort of the main Quakertown sign, and like I said, they're out in the lobby, so don't try to read this as it's quite too small. So this is sort of the general Quakertown story, and then we have one for each of the churches. And I've got a blue box there because I made a mistake in World Baptist Church for AV, and that is my fault, and I'm super embarrassed. So. And this is for St. Emmanuel, and then for Pleasant Grove. So please feel free to look at the signs, read the text, make sure it looks and sounds how you want it to sound, and if it doesn't, let me know and we'll make those changes. And then we should have them up pretty soon at the park. And even once they're at the park, if you find that there's some error, we can correct them and put a new sign up. So just let us know what you think. And you can reach me, well, you can reach us on Discuss Denton, or I have a sign here in my email. But you can reach us through Discuss Denton, or we have those comment cards out in the lobby. And I'll write my email somewhere on one of those signs you can see it. But it's omar.sidddenton@cityofdenton.com. And if you're if you're confused, just ask for Omar. There's only one, I think.
So is there gonna be a program of
Yeah,
this?
so what we're also working on, and what I'll have for you very soon, is a calendar of events for this, the next few months that will have various Quakertown themed events for us to talk about and people to go to. We're still working on sort of the second half of the calendar year, but those events will sort of solidify in the next, hopefully month or so. And then we'll have a nice full calendar year of events for people to go to. For example, on the front end, we're having a professor at TW talk about some of the research she's done on Quakertown veterans. We have Kim Cupid from the county talking about the kind of progress they're making on renovating the second Quakertown house at the historical park. And in the autumn, we hope to sort of program with the Twilight Tunes to have a Quakertown themed musical event. So there's a lot to look forward to. It should be really lovely. But the most immediate thing right now is sort of to look at the signage and make sure what you see is what you want to have on the signs.
What's the drop dead date on that?
Well, we're gonna have these probably here till about the middle of next week, and then we're going to move on making the signs. But as I said, if you get to the park and you see the sign and you're like, well, Omar messed this up, and we can't have this, we'll go ahead and fix that, after the fact. It's no big deal. That's the great thing about this sort of temporary signage. It's not, carved into stone, so we can make these edits. But yeah, if you find any mistake, let me know. If you find anything you just don't like, let me know, and we can sort of work on that. And because we want these signs to be what the Quakertown residents want. Yes, ma'am.
Signs gonna be where about anymore?
So the church signs will be at the location of each of the churches. For the general sign that sort of tells the whole story of Quakertown, we'll probably place that sign at 2 or 3 different spots that sort of make up sort of the natural entrances to the park. So they'll be sort of variously placed so people can see them. So that's the idea right now. So, but the church signs will be at the location where those churches were.
But in particular, just these 5 churches right now, not all of them.
Well, it's the 3 churches that were at Quakertown.
3?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you're saying between meetings now and the next setting meeting, people have an opportunity to make corrections or suggestions so you can get into manufacturing of it?
Sure, if they could give us, if you have the time, I'm gonna stay after the meeting. If you want to take a look at the signs out there and just, let me know what you think about them, that'd be great. If you want to look at them online, I think we have them on Discuss Denton, if not, I'll post them tonight. Take a look at those and then you can comment online if you want. But yeah, if you could just get us what your ideas or input or suggestions are as soon as possible. It'd be good if you could sort of wrap it up this next week and then, send the signs to have them professionally made. I will make one other note. The signs that you see out there were the result of me printing it out in our office and posting it on poster board.
Right.
So the actual signs in the park will look much more professional and tidy. So I did my best, but it wasn't super great. But well, let me know what you think about the imagery, the text. I'll give just a quick note of thanks to Aaron Boyle, who was our graphic designer who did the design work on the signs, and I think did a really nice job. So.
I know that we're getting into this era of the Quakertown Celebration Memorial. Is there a community committee already set up to work with you and you all kind
We
of
don't
usher this
have,
along?
we don't have a community committee set up as such, but I mean, we can think about doing that.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's put that on the agenda right away, so, we can have some folks in here to make some decisions and, you know, and bring them out to the community. I think that that's gonna kind of push us along a little faster if we have them directly speaking to you. That's what I want. That's what I think we
We'll do
need.
that.
Okay. So Reverend Logan and whoever else, not just, you know, there needs to be on this committee, the ladies from the LH. Let's pull us together so we can figure out how we want this year to look,
Sounds good.
because I'm not comfortable right now.
Go ahead.
And whoever you all want to, you know, I have an idea, but I don't have any way to get that to. I know I can say it directly to you, but it needs to be in a committee
Sure.
tag. You all agree with that? Okay, let's do that. Let's do that right away. Yeah.
For that committee, is there a specific rep or someone that we can forward that information to start forming that committee?
It'll be, Reverend Logan.
Reverend Logan? Perfect.
Let's get him on board with that, as well as,
Reverend Logan, do it all.
and you know, she said that
Logan ain't gonna
because.
do it all, don't be doing that. No, I'm gonna work with a group, I'm gonna work with a consensus group of people. And it's gotta be led by our president of the second group.
There you go.
Now, we've been blessed, I wasn't gonna say, but I'm gonna make it quick, but we've been blessed that Sister Clark has allowed us to infiltrate her Bible study group at 10 o'clock on Tuesdays.
Right.
Now, that was just a blessing. We can't not go and invade that group unless Sister Kimball and Sister Clark say we can. So we're going to set up a definite time, what Tuesdays, we want to do that, and be very specific. We're going to meet that Tuesday, we're going to come together and give suggestions, and we'll have to talk to Sister Clark if we can even do that. Because sometimes and Sister Kimball, where is she? She in there? And Sister Kimball. So we gotta let her know, if we're gonna meet now, we gotta meet at 10 o'clock on Tuesday.
We'll be ready.
Now, so let's say it like this, if you wanna be part of this committee, led up by our president at 10 o'clock on Tuesday, Sister Kimball has allowed us to come in there and have 1 hour. Can we do that?
Yeah.
1 hour of
I
time.
have to talk to Vaughn.
We have to-
Let her know.
Let them know. Okay? We'll talk to Shalon and we'll talk to Sister Kendrick there at the center.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking.
Sister Kendrick is the supervisor there, but that's gotta be something that comes when we all come together. We're just blessed, there's a slot that's already there.
There you go.
So,
Yeah, we can make that happen. I know I got some stuff I gotta talk about.
Yeah, we have some other projects to go over really quickly.
My name is Chris Scotto. I'm a park planner for the city of Denton. So I wanted to talk about a few projects that benefit and truly impact the Southeast Denton community. So I have a presentation put together, if y'all don't mind, if y'all can, take a look at it, and I'll give you some updates along the way. So we have 5 active projects, or 3 active projects, and 2 of them that are gonna be up and coming. One of them Omar already touched on, which is the Quakertown Park project update. I wanna talk about Sycamore Street Bridge Art. This is a project that we've already come to the community twice for, and gotten a sense of direction on what exactly it is that the community wants as a holistic view for the improvement for the bridge itself. So this is off of Sycamore Street. As you see on the screen there, it's existing art that we don't necessarily have history behind as far as who did it, what it represents and such. So we went out to 2 meetings, one at American Legion Hall and one here actually this past December. In the initial feedback, we presented 3 options. There was more of a modern theme option where we can do something more abstract. There's more of a second option that was more landscape, more natural based, where it could feature some flowers or such. And option 3 was truly just go ahead and strip it and just paint it one color, or just paint it back to that concrete color what it was. What everyone leaned more towards was that natural more beautified landscape that gets featured here. So what I wanted to ask you all today was more, is there a special theme, maybe specific flowers or specific color scheme or whatever that may be? I know someone in our office had mentioned white lilacs just being prominent at Quakertown Park. Maybe that's something we can do here. Just something along those ends that we're just trying to get ideas of what we can get so we can get together a scope of work, and those next steps will be for us to go to the PAC, Public Art Committee, for us to establish that, and then come back to SEDNA to give you guys more of those visuals of what that looks like. So I'll open it up for the floor just to hear if there's any specific input just from that, or is it more what you see here on the screen, okay, where we'll let the artists more define what they want to incorporate, or do we want to give them a specific, this is what we want, and they give us a design? So I'll open it up for any feedback.
That butterfly is beautiful.
Yeah.
The underpass, I was thinking on yesterday to put a flower in between those pictures, you know where the brown wall is at? That butterfly would be beautiful up there too.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, and I mean, we're, I mean, in the city, Denton, I believe, and I'm not mistaken, Vince or Omar, you know, we're the Monarch community as well. So that sort of fits that scheme. But the bridge here is what you see. This is Sycamore Bridge. Carl Young Park is back there. So this is that small bridge. So it's probably like a 3 foot, 4 foot height is what we're thinking. So it's not significant. More representation of what you see is what you see here. This is actually pretty identical to what we have here in Denton from a size standpoint. So that gives you an idea, representation of what that could look like. So are we sort of more of that butterfly, kind of the butterfly / flower combination? Okay, we can definitely do that.
What about the bridge itself? It's terrible.
They're working on it.
The inside of the bridge.
They're working on it, they're actually working on the ranch.
So that's one project I want to talk about, so we got that noted. One project that we've also gone to community for, and this has been a process that we started last summer, is the concrete regional trail that does actually start off here at the DCTA rail trail. Goes through Federal Park and follows the concrete channel all the way to Lewiston Lake. So that trail is going to be 10 foot wide. It's going to be a trail system that will get you from downtown to the lake, which will actually have connectivity towards the Katy Trail. So we're going to continue off the Lakeside Drive, where it'll connect that entire loop system for the city itself, which would be a significant trail enhancement just for the Parks and Rec Department and for the city itself. So that's something we're working on. We did go to Park Board earlier this month. That got approved. We're actually going to Council tomorrow. It's under the consent agenda for consideration of approval. So that's something that we're hoping it gets approved tomorrow, and we are in the stages currently to get that funded through a grant. So actually the application is due this Friday for us to submit a preliminary application where that can get funded anywhere from $5 million to $25 million contributed towards the trail. This trail project from point A to point B, as of right now proposed, is roughly $18 million, but we're looking to do segments. So that's where we're trying to maximize those grant dollars and use existing park dollars from all these developments that are coming into town. We're able to use those dollars to create these park spaces. So that's sort of that idea, that vision that we have in place for this trail. Any questions there? I'll sort of breeze through that real quick. Perfect. So another thing that's going to be up and coming that we're excited for, council allocated specific ARPA money where we have various park projects in the queue. Carl Young Senior Park is one of those where we're going to go phase 2. You know, there's concerns of the splash pad itself being too small, so we have acknowledged that, and we are working currently. I'm working currently on getting a contract to get phase 2 on that, where we're going to start getting design material coming to SEDNA and having multiple engagement meetings where we're going to get to show you what's going to be in the ground, and what you see is actually going to be in the ground, because we're going to make sure that money, whatever we're showing you, is actually matches what those dollars are as well. So we have that ARPA allocation. So not only the spray ground is going to be implemented, we're also going to work on the sidewalks. So we understand that there's some sidewalks that aren't necessarily connected internal. So we're gonna be working on those sidewalks just to improve the overall mobility on site. I know Fensei, which he's our assistant director, by the way, he came by. We were both actually walking the site a couple weeks ago, and we noticed somebody walking the street. So we're like, yeah, we got to get some loop trail system created internally within the park. So those are things that we're looking at and making sure that we're incorporating. So that is going to happen this year from the sense of getting out to master plan, and we're hoping to break ground this fall. So once the swim season or the aquatic season ends, sometime summer, fall, we're hoping to get that contract pretty quick. So be on the lookout for that. That's up and coming. Any questions there?
So, you have any idea how much money is gonna be allocated for this? I mean,
Yeah, we have-
phase one, we already have $181,000 in the bank that wasn't used on phase one, so.
Yeah, so phase one, from my understanding, what was presented to the site, a lot of that went into the infrastructure. So a lot of that covers the parking lot that was implemented and all the plumbing, all the stuff that you don't necessarily see to the common eye, where from my understanding, and again, that was past management, that's what occurred there. So in this instance, that's already established. So as far as the budget that we have roughly about $500,000 allocated. $500,000 that's going to be allocated from the ARPA funding.
Okay.
And a lot of those, again, some of those dollars that we're trying to take advantage of are coming from the developments or existing developments that happened within the past 10 years or so, where we have a pot sort of sitting there that we're trying to get those park development and park dedication fees included into these projects. So that's what where this funding is coming from. So that gives you a rough idea of what that'll cost. I think for us to incorporate maybe 2 more vertical elements, that's the vertical element here, that splash pad. Right now it's roughly 1,500 square feet. We're gonna try to double that size. We'll be about 3,000 square feet.
So is there any way, I don't wanna seem like being a bully, but when this is completed, is there any way you could bring that paperwork so we can see that the money that's allocated was actually?
Yeah, so all that's public information. Discuss Stephanie was mentioned. That's a platform that we're gonna be, we're showing all that documentation. Council is also gonna be approving the contract for the construction of this development as well. So this is something that is public facing from that sense that, yes, you can see that for sure. Either you can contact me directly, I can get that to you, or you can access that online for sure.
Okay, and then I'll get with you, cause I've reached out to the parks on phase one and they just blew me off.
Okay. Yeah, I apologize about that, but I can show you, we have different management in place right now that we'll make sure that what we say is gonna happen in place.
What project was over the Gene for?
What project, as far as the original one? The original one was just incorporating that spray ground. I think it also incorporated that parking lot. And it's some sidewalks, when you develop within the city limit, city of Denton, there's certain development codes that are in place. So a lot of that was put in place from the sidewalks.
Were you in that organization when they?
No, that was different. That was a different group. We have our new director that's currently in place was.
That's what we were told, that Gene for.
Yeah, so the master planning for that took, so this was constructed in 2018. 2018, where the grand opening was 2019. The master plan typically is about a 1 to 2 year process. That it does take some time to get to this level once you start breaking ground.
No, my question is, like you said, you didn't have to do it, but it was told us the price on that sprinkler that was put in the Gene port was limited to us a certain amount of money. But as we got back to us and we were told, which we tried to pull the price on it, that it's still money left from that project, and they told us this. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but we can talk about that offline and figure out what that was exactly. From my understanding, all those dollars were mainly for the infrastructure, and there wasn't enough funding from that second part.
There's some left, I promise you.
We could take a look at that. I'm not sure. So yeah, let's talk afterwards, and I can give the right people and see what happened there from a sense of what's left, if there's anything left. And I think Fitz, did you have something?
Well, I just want to reiterate what you said as far as the new design of a new Carl Young Senior Park. That we'll be back here with the options, so it'll be vetted through this group as well. we'll be here. I'm sure we'll have public engagements there. Everyone's available to come to, but we'll be here specifically to get y'all's input.
For sure. Any other questions regarding this project? And another thing that we want to talk about is we will be submitting a grant application through the CDBG process, grant process for us to seek funding to add a pergola to the American Legion Hall. So that was a request, I believe, that came about just shortly after it occurred. And it's more of that patio sense. There's existing plant beds externally. So that's something that was requested that we're seeking funding for, as well as enhancing the existing pavilions on site. Yes, sir.
Give us a working definition of pergola.
A pergola, so a pergola is more of a kind of a structure, think of a little gazebo, kind of flat structure, and it has open-ended wood sleeves. So it's more of a pavilion or more of an area, kind of like your backyard. They're typically for your backyards. I know I have one at my house, but they're open-ended, lets light shine through. So they're not necessarily enclosed where you have your typical roof with the shingles. It's more open, so it allows light. So our idea is for us to have those plant beds where it'll still get that garden within it.
So that back patio at the American Legion Hall.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it's overseeing the basketball court where it can be set for various events. You can even have that sort of like a stage, and you have that top cover. Of course, it's open, so if there's rain, then it'll go through. I think we have a photo there, but that is something that we can identify if we needed to get there. There are opportunities for you to still have light shine through, but you can still cover it. So that's something that we can also look at. But we are going to be enhancing the pavilions on site as well as sidewalks. So the sidewalks, currently there is no sidewalk towards the softball field. So we're looking to add a sidewalk to make sure that gets connected all the way, and that's ADA accessible as well. So that's what we'll be submitting for consideration. There's various options that we have in play, but just wanted to bring that up to you. And again, Quakertown Park, Omar covered, but if you have any questions, you are able to see these different projects on dentonparks.com. We have a park project specific page that you're able to see any current, upcoming, or past projects, and then Discuss Denton is an active platform for any projects that are active. You're able to see what's going on. So with that being said, is there any questions?
Yes. Are you completed with Fred Moore Park? Are you?
From just from a sense of completed in what way?
Down on the area where they playing the football, flag football, the softball and all that. Is that well done?
That's a great question. So we did recently approve our master plan this last year, March of 2021. That does identify different opportunities, short-term and long-term opportunities for each park itself. So we'll have to take a look to see what those recommendations are. But just like I mentioned with improving some of those pavilions, we are going back and improving those sites and making sure that it's the playground. The playground's going to be updated every 20 years because that's the life cycle for them. And different things like that, benches. We got new trash receptacles on site. So there's various amenities that we're upgrading as it comes. But from the sense of fully master planning the site, that's sort of, I think you can always, put something else there, right? So it's one of those that we can, if we have direction from that sense, then that could be stuff that we're looking at.
Because I see an area where something is missing. It's been there for years, but it hasn't been put it back up there.
The scoreboard?
Scoreboard.
Yeah, so that scoreboard, I believe has been mentioned in the past, so I'll make sure to note that, and we can talk to our athletic staff for that and see what that's incorporated.
We tried writing on paper.
It is not there.
Yeah, no, trust me, I used to be in athletics, so I know how that is. Any other questions, guys? No? Well, I appreciate everybody's time.
Thank you. Walter, you want to finish?
Oh, yes.
This is Walter Heron.
Guys, one of the Harry boys. Hey guys, we got a lot of veterans in Denton that are not registered to get a flag on their grave when we get the Wreaths thing. So if you got a family member that was a veteran, you got to take your DD-214 and death certificate up to the post office, but they can get registered before we can start putting wreaths on their graves. So, and the veteran also, we got if you got any kids that's in school, we got what you call boy state and girl state, where they can get scholarship to go to school. All it is they apply for it, they go down to Austin. Just like you have football recruiters come looking for the football players, sometimes you have business come looking for students. Those businesses will recruit those kids and give them scholarship. They could get full ride scholarship to school. But we got to encourage our kids to start doing that. Another thing is, in order for us to build up our community, we gotta start doing a lot more. I know some people come with negative stuff, but when we had some positive stuff come in, I gave him a phone call. It didn't show. So even though you got some negative stuff, you gotta come with the positive stuff too. Mayor Husband tell you, he has something that I don't like, I might go against him. But when he does something positive, I walk up to him and shake his hand and say, I appreciate you for what you're doing for our community. Because it's hard to do things for your community, because you gotta do it when you're the mayor, you gotta do it for the whole city of Denton. But us in this community, we gotta start doing a lot of stuff for ourselves, like get the veterans registered. A lot of them don't have benefits. They need to go start doing their benefits. A lot of them don't wanna talk about their benefits because I'm a man. We think women trying to get our money. They're not trying to do that. There's money that they can get, because kids can go to college off their dad for being in the military. They can go to school. And so a lot of these young men, when you start talking to them about, hey, if you give me your DD 214, your daughter could pay her way through school. They don't want to give it to you because they're afraid that they're trying to get the money. That ain't how it works. That don't even go against him on that. That's something that's helping his daughter or his son to go to school. So I'm with the Post 71. We're doing a lot of different stuff. We're gonna start doing on funerals. We're gonna start sending what you call like a drill team for the funerals. So when somebody pass away, just let us know, and we'll try to take care of that. Me and Wayne Liskin, we're one of the two. Also, you got any guys that's in the military, that's been in the military, got in a little trouble. They don't know this. We got a military court system right up here. So a lot of those guys who go to that military court system, usually they get put in counseling. Then they get to go off somewhere to, try to improve themselves. Sometimes they get out of their trouble. I ain't promising you that, but sometimes they do. But they got a military system where they could go and then they could get help. So all we gotta do is just start pushing it and just start letting your family members know and everything like that, because right now, like I said, Post 71, we really trying to get veterans to start going for their benefits. If you was a Marine, all you have to do is be in the military for 180 days, you are considered a veteran. So you get benefits. A lot of you guys don't know that. Reggie McDade, I put his name in the archive with the rest of the people from the Post. We done already put that in the history books, and we put it in North Texas, and we sent it down to Austin. So we're doing a little bit of things. We just got to get everybody in the community to start helping us get these people's names out there, because there's a lot of people. Like, I went to that wall where we had out there. You was there, man. I seen a lot of names with Cochran name on it. I sent it to her. I said, do you know any of these people? And I seen a lot of pundits. Do y'all know any of these people? Because they could be related to you. Some of them, they coming from Texas. If you were from East Texas, there might have been some of your relatives back in the day. So there's a lot of stuff that we're doing. We just gotta keep getting it pushed out there. So if y'all have any questions, you can always ask me. But like I said, you take the death certificate up to the post office with a DD 214. DD 214, they would register your relative. They buried over here. They would register your relative over there. I had Roby McDade, he came with me. He put one on his grandfather's grave. I had totally forgot that his grandfather was in the military. You see, that's something that I learned. And we put a wreath on his grave. So there's a lot of people over there that don't have one. We got to get their names out there. We got to get it taken care of. Yes, ma'am.
I think, a DD 214, through the course of life, that might be something that might be lost.
No, man, you can go online. You can go online. You go online and request it, but you got to be a family member. You got to be a spouse or a child. You can't be just a regular person like me. And another thing, you don't want to be carrying around somebody's DD 214. They catch you, that is a felony. So if somebody walking around with somebody else's DD 214, and it ain't your relative, that is a felony, if they really wanna push the issue, so you wanna get that out of your hand, give it to the relative. Don't you hold on to it. So don't try to use it, but yeah, but they got a record of all the people, so. And all these guys that say they lost their DD 14, they trying to get their benefits, they got a record of all your medical records too. And a lot of spouses probably got benefits that they didn't even know they had, that they could go apply for. You go online and you go in there, military benefits for spouses, they'll tell you what you're eligible for, and you start sending in for that stuff. Like USAA insurance, who got USAA insurance? I know I do. Yeah, a lot of y'all could get on that USAA insurance if you're a relative. And that's some good insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah. You pay $500 for the first time, you don't have to pay it no more. But if I drive her car, that's not her car, that's my car. So if I have a wreck in it, it goes on my insurance, don't even touch her insurance. That's the way USAA works.
It's great insurance.
Great insurance. So they do housing and all that.
Yeah.
So.
Is there a veterans office over there in the Horn building?
Yes, those two veterans, matter of fact, those veterans up there, they're part of my Legionnaire.
Okay.
So you talking about Spencer and Paul, Mr. Paul, yeah. We talk about this all the time. We had a what we call a roundup, where we try to get soldiers, ex-soldiers come there and get looked at. We also looking at the homeless people that's ex-veterans too, trying to get them established and get back on their feet. It's just, you don't never know who you're talking to. Somebody could have been in the military, you never knew they was in the military. So you just gotta start speaking out on them. And like I say, Mary Huskell, he's a big supporter of ours. He always shows up at all events. And so he would tell you that we, and then his dad, me and his dad always been talking military, so that's where it really goes down. Yeah, so y'all got some relatives. Go ahead, Ms. Frank.
What if you have your spouse or whoever buried at DFW? Does that works the same as the one?
At the DFW, you mean telling me as the veteran?
Yeah.
No, theirs already in the roster. So you automatically get that all the time.
Yeah.
You automatically get that all the time. But we trying to do it for the people that's buried over here. Because there was a good, where's Miss Crowder at? Where's Yvonne at? She here? Well, they did a good job on that wreath thing. Well, you there, Mr. Logan. They did a good job on that. We, in our community, we gotta have more people showing up. There wasn't enough of us there. I hate to say it. We gotta have a couple more showing up to get this stuff taken care of. Yeah, I knew you was there. Yeah, I want to leave you out too. You my right hand man, me and her. But anyway, we gotta get out there a little bit more. We gotta get out there a little bit more. And we just can't sit. We gotta get some of the young people out there too.
Now, I'm ignorant and probably guilty, but is this something that's been done every year? Because this is the first time that I even knew.
It always have been done, but we didn't know about it until it got brought to us. So there's a lot of stuff that's been brought to us now.
Yeah.
That like he said about the parks and stuff.
Right.
Actually, they're bringing. I hate to say it, their husband, they're bringing a lot of stuff that we didn't know about today. Y'all got to sit back and kind of watch and wait and listen, and then find out for yourself. Then you'll see what's going on. But there's a lot of stuff that we're doing. Like Miss Cochran here, she's doing the solemn. She's supposed to be doing T-shirts. So this is something that she's doing for the community to get stuff started. We got to have people like her to keep in the community. Keep going, keep going. Don't let her stop. If she fall down, y'all pick her up. So that's it. That's all I got. That's good.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
So, Randy, what you have, can you do it at the next meeting?
Yeah.
We need it.
Okay, I just want to say this before we leave. A lot of people, those of you that was not at the NOK program last week, there was a presentation made by the group that's building the apartments in Sycamore Street. And they presented, and I'm just saying this for those of you that didn't know, they presented to 5 historical black churches a $10,000 check, just to do it. They didn't have to do it, they did it just to do it. A lot of people were confused about why it happened and tried to tell them why it was happening. People had questioned why they in 5 churches, why not all the churches, blah, blah, blah. But hopefully everybody understands that it's the 5 black historical churches that were moved from Quakertown that received a check for $10,000. And there were some things that they do have to do, give to a scholarship committee, etc. And then I also wanted to say, there was a lot of things also said, and it kind of upset me too, said it was not mentioned when those checks were presented. And that group came to the second group to start it, and we were not mentioned, and that did upset me because we weren't mentioned, like we didn't have no part of it. And I tried to explain to people I had nothing to do with that. The Minister Alliance took it over, and they did it. But I did also let Lane know that they forgot to mention us, because we've been around too, and we did have a part of that, and they should have said something about it, and they didn't. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I did inform them that they should have said something and thanked us, but it didn't happen yet.
And I got a question. When we met with the developer, we talked about the community benefits agreement. We talked about getting a little group together. Have we decided on who's going to be in that group? So when we talk to the developer, or I mean, how far have we gotten to that?
We haven't.
Okay.
We can do that when we meet, that Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Started on the 31st, we can talk about things like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And just to clarify, guys, the Ministerial Alliance did not do anything with the development. I mean, we keep saying that, but that's not true. You know, I speak truth. It was not the Ministerial Alliance. It came out of when the lady Amy came here and was introduced to Setner Group, is how she came involved with the 5 historical churches. So just understand that. It's not, we keep saying Ministerial Alliance with our ministers. I know preachers, we talk a lot. But it was not the Ministerial Alliance. She came out through connection with Setner, is how they came connected with the developers. So, and it just so happened, it was spontaneous that it happened about the money. I just want to let you know, it's something that came up in a conversation. That's how it all happened. Excuse me, Mr. President, just 1 second. The question was asked, I want to be a good neighbor to Southeast Denton. That's how it got started, y'all. That's just the facts of the matter. And we just so happened we were standing in the back of Mount Calvary, and they said, I want to be a good neighbor. You feeling me? Good. Because I want to let you know. And you said, well, how can I be a good neighbor? Well, I'm going to tell you the truth of the matter was, I said, well, you can start by giving something to the 5 historical churches. And then they said, well, what does that look like? So then 30 minutes passed. And then the lady said, Amy said, well, how can we do that now? I said, well, I'm glad you asked. What about giving $10,000 to each church? She said, that's what she said. My hand to the Lord. That's exactly what happened. And then she turned around and left. And then a couple of weeks later, she came back and said, well, they said, well, I don't know, I guess we can do that. And that's how it happened. Now you want to talk about a Christian people, talking about a God, and I don't use words like God thing, but I'll tell you right now, it was not a Reggie thing. God lit that thing and set it on fire in the parking lot. I'm just telling you the facts of the matter. And then the people came back and said, because they told me they want to be good neighbors. I said, this is a good way. CBA is something going to happen over 2023, 2024, 2025, futuristically. But you know, that's pie in the sky. I like pie and I like sky. But I like meat and potatoes now. So that's what happened, y'all. Now you quote me, you feel me, publish it.
And I still say, they should have mentioned that said and thanked us.
They should have.
In no case, they should have
That's
thanked us.
right, they should have.
They left us out, and I didn't like that. I didn't like it.
Well, can I just say now?
So,
on
be
that
mad at
day-
me, that's just my opinion.
You're right. I'm agreeing with you.
Now, it was in the newspaper. Your all's name was in the newspaper. Did you see that? Now, I know that's not like on the microphone and doing it, you know, at the celebration, but in the newspaper. Southeast Denton Neighborhood Association, it was in there. So it was mentioned, you got the newspaper, it was in there.
No, it wasn't me, that's not true, Mr. Simmons.
But I did voice my opinion to her, I sure did, I sure did. So I just wanted to put, that's me, I did that. So, okay, we're gonna try to keep it to our meetings. Like I said, next month, Black History Month, I'm working on having a special guest here. So everyone, please come out fourth Monday, bring somebody to show them that these meetings are going on every month. We still trying to get people, because people in the neighborhood, they always say, ain't nothing going on, y'all don't do nothing. We're trying to do something, so, but they have to come and see for themselves, so. Like I said, 6 o'clock, fourth Monday, we'll be back.
All right.
Thank you. 7:13, so.
We're done.